You spoke of noble dreams. And so I will ask you tonight to honor those noble dreams. Your patients need you to. Hopkins needs you to. And the world needs you to. You see, you're entering a healthcare environment that is both very exciting and very risky. You will have unprecedented ability to heal, to relieve suffering, to mend broken minds and broken bodies, to kill cancer cells and reinvigorate failing hearts. Yet you are also entering a healthcare system that too often harms, that too often ignores patients' values. A healthcare system in which preventable harm is one of the third leading causes of death. Please honor your noble dreams. You are entering a healthcare system where the potential for scientific discoveries are undreamed of, where we could look and peer into the human body with unprecedented ability. Yet you're also entering a healthcare system in which millions lack access to healthcare. A healthcare system that is too costly, in which 30% of what we spend is wasted and doesn't add value to the patient. A healthcare system in which we are crowding out investments in K-12 education, and cities and school systems right here in Baltimore are failing our citizens. Please honor your noble dreams. You are entering a profession that offers the most joys. As Dr. Miller said, it is truly the most noble of professions. And yet you're joining a workforce that too often feels disenfranchised, that feels disempowered and demoralized. Too often that we feel change is something done to us rather than something we lead. Please honor those noble dreams. Because you see, it is only you as physicians who are going to be able to change this system. Yes, we must partner with others, and we have to involve many in the journey, but it is truly you as physicians who will do this. And you will need to be unwavering in the hill you climb, yet humble enough to invite everybody to help you climb it. We've seen what's possible when you and your classmates honor your noble dreams. They make medical discoveries, they comfort dying patients, and they help reduce infections. It's scary to think about honoring your noble dreams. I know. I was one of you. And I had a noble dream of reducing preventable harm, in large part because my father, as a fourth-year medical student, died needlessly of a medical error, a misdiagnosis. And I started working in the field and was humbled because a little girl who looked hauntingly like my daughter died of a catheter infection, a type of infection that kills about as many people as breast or prostate cancer each year. And at the time, I was one of those doctors causing those infections. I didn't want to be harming patients, but I was. But by honoring our noble dreams, we were able to put a program in here and now around the country and in several other countries and dramatically reduce the risk of these infections. So it's okay to be scary about honoring your dreams. And you may fail, something most of you have never done. And it's okay. Indeed, I believe my greatest lessons in life have come from learning from my failures. And there have been plenty. So reflect on your noble dreams and honor them. To do so will no doubt take courage and it'll take discipline. Aristotle said, "We become what we do." Excellence, therefore, is much more of a habit than a virtue. And tonight, you will start forming those habits that you will carry through your life as a physician. And let's make them wisely. Habits of exercising and eating well. And yes, parents, it's okay if they go to the Cooley Center. Habits of getting home for family dinners. Habits of listening to your colleagues, to your spouse, to your children. And yes, without your iPhones or your iPads on. Habits of asking important questions, of having the courage to see those questions through to fruition. But I think the most important habit you'll need to create is the belief in possibility. The belief that you actually can honor your noble dreams. Because you'll be confronted with doubt, whether self-doubt or doubt from others, that it isn't possible. I learned perhaps the best lesson of what's possible from a medical student like you, Roger Bannister. You see, in 1956, there was the longest standing record of all time, the 4-minute mile. And prior to Roger Bannister breaking that mile, leading scientists at the time, including scientists from this great institution, said that it was impossible to break that 4-minute mile. They literally said you would die. Your lungs couldn't deliver enough oxygen to your body. They said that until Roger Bannister came along and didn't buy into it. And as a medical student in the UK, he was the first person to break the 4-minute mile. Now, you may know that part of the story. What we often don't know or forget is the year after Roger broke this 2,000-year-old record, 12 more brave souls broke the record. The year after that, 156 people broke the record. And now high school kids in most states are breaking the 4-minute mile. So I reflected and said, what happened in 1956 that allowed Roger Bannister to do that? And at first I said, perhaps it's like my children tell me they got new sneakers so they could run faster. But I don't think so. Perhaps they were doing blood doping or steroids like it's going on in baseball, but again, no evidence that that happened. Or perhaps evolution occurred. Our bodies just evolved, but as you all know, now after your great first year of medical school, then 2 years is way too short on the evolutionary scale to think that happened. No, the only thing that changed was their beliefs. You see, prior to Roger Bannister, they were bound by a mental model that I couldn't break the 4-minute mile. And what Roger did was free up the possibility for everyone to follow him to believe that they can. And students, that's what we are asking you to do, to honor your noble dreams and break that 4-minute mile, because our healthcare system, your patients, desperately need you to. So as that great Apple commercial, "Here's to the Crazy One," says, because it is only those who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who actually do. Finis origine pendant. The beginning foretells the end. Every time you put on this white coat, please remember why you wanted to do so in the first place. I thank you, and I'm truly honored to be able to be here with you tonight.